look, this wasn't about Israel at the end of the day, and it wasn't a Middle East foreign policy question. This is a question about us, about American citizens and our rights. Are we going to be treated equally, or is our government going to throw us under the bus? And Congressman took the lead on it. I just want to thank you for joining us today, Congressman Jackson.
We do believe in measuring human rights by one yardstick. That's a core principle that we have as it relates to the Visa Waiver Program. All American citizens have to be treated equally and fairly. That's non-negotiable. There's one blue passport. We want reciprocal identification and respect. And so I have Palestinian persons in the district and also nationwide that I have enormous amount of respect for, that I will continue to advocate and fight for.
And I have Sam Bahour on, and I want Sam, who is, there he is. Hi, Sam. Sam
Hello.
is probably the expert on this issue. If anybody is, he's been dealing with this probably as long as I have, and is now dealing with it at that end, as opposed to when he was dealing with it at this end. Tell me, Sam, what is your thought on this right now?
I'm a US citizen. I brought some show and tell. Here's my passport, it's an old one. When I was coming into the country as a US citizen, which is the only thing I am, you get a 3-month tourist visa. Today, they give you this little card here. It allows you to come into the country for 3 months. After 3 months, you must exit the country to renew your visa. I did that for 15 years, even though I'm married to a Palestinian woman. After 15 years, they threatened to kick me out. It was a big issue. There was a New York Times article, blah, blah, blah. And I was able to get, after 15 years, a Palestinian ID, which is really an Israeli-issued residency card for the West Bank. It's not a citizenship. When they gave me this card, which is in Hebrew and Arabic, they stamped in my US passport a Hebrew stamp, and they wrote the number of my ID. And the Hebrew stamp says the holder of this foreign passport has been recognized as a Palestinian. What does that mean? It means I am no longer recognized in the state of Israel as an American citizen. The only country in the world that refuses to recognize me as the American that I am, because I have a Palestinian document that they gave me. By the way, my dad doesn't have this. He was born in the house that I live in today, because he wasn't here in 1967 when they distributed all these cards. So now, as an ID holder, like everybody else here, if I want to go to Jerusalem or go to the airport, which I'm no longer able to do with this card, I have to go get a permit. This is a permit issued by the Israeli military. It's good for 1 day, from 5 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. To get this, it's a headache. It's very financially costly. It's a very profitable occupation. As we were getting these, they changed the system. And they said, and this is relevant to what's happening today, they said you can no longer get permits by just showing your ID and paying a fee and filing an application. Now, you have to go get something called the magnetic card. And the Israeli military issues this. What's the difference? This says I'm a Palestinian in their system. This says I've been security cleared. Now I can for a 1-day permit. This is the Kafkaesque kind of environment that we're living in. And the questions that I have going forward with this test period or pilot phase are several. One, are we still going to have to apply for Israeli permits to be able to go to the airport or to go into Jerusalem? Or should it apply to me as an American citizen like it applies to any American citizen coming in from the airport? Because there is a distinction between Israel, and that was the UN Security Council debate yesterday, between Israel proper and what Resolution 2334 signifies as not Israel, which is the occupied territory. Will we have to continue to renew our cards and have magnetic cards to be able to get this? Will Palestinians who are here, like my cousin and Jim's friend, 76-year-old Jamal Nisser, who just got out of 8 months of administrative detention, an American citizen all his life in Ohio, and was told, you can leave jail, but you can't leave the West Bank unless you sign a piece of paper saying you'll never come back again to his home. So these are complications that no one at the embassy is talking about. And I think it's very problematic, especially when they say you can come into Israel for 3 months. Well, what if I want to come through the airport? And that's the friendship treaty that Jim taught me about many, many years ago. which allows me to enter Israel to transit to the occupied territory. I don't want to go to Israel. I want to come to Al-Bire or Ramallah or Jenin. Are they going to apply a 3-month term of my ability to come into the country? Because this government in particular sees Israel as the river to the sea. So all of these questions are not being answered, and we're learning from the media actually what's being applied. Sometimes they say 30-day pilot, 45-day pilot, but back to the analogy. Whatever the pilot is, the officer says, drive 1 mile, we'll keep an eye on you, and then we're gonna let you keep driving, knowing that there is a discriminatory trend for 75 years.
Thank you so much, Sam. The action alert will go out later this afternoon, and I'd appreciate it if you would respond to the congressman and to those who signed. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.